r/ask Reddit. What is something I'm better off not knowing? Excel. The more you know, the more you have to help everyone else. Oh, God, I'm the Excel guy at my office. I'm not even that great with it. I've just built a few rather crude models and have used one ducking pivot table in a presentation I made to others in my office. Now people ask me questions they could easily figure out by spending a few minutes on the internet. They aren't interested in your skills in Excel. They are interested at your skills at Google. Yes, they are interested in my ability to make their problems go away without having to do anything. I'm also the default computer guy because I know how to use Google to solve small PC problems. I should really work with people who aren't all over 50. Dr. Swiss cheated on his wife who was dying of cancer, which caused her to commit suicide. This is her suicide note. Dear Ted, what has happened to us? I don't know. I feel myself in a spiral, going down down down, into a black hole from which there is no escape, no brightness, and loud in my ears from every side I hear. Failure, failure, failure. I love you so much. I am too old and enmeshed in everything you do and are, that I cannot conceive of life without you. My going will leave quite a rumor, but you can say I was overworked and overwrought. Your reputation with your friends and fans will not be harmed. Sometimes think of the fun we had all through the years. Yep, then his niece called his wife's suicide her last and greatest gift to him. There are teenagers out there having unprotected sex, but putting cases on their phones. OMG, what a great analogy for teaching teens protection during sex. I will be using that when I continue to discuss wrapping it up with my 3 teen boys. Mom, now if you don't use protection on your phone, how much will it cost you to buy a new one? Boy, too much. At least $300. Mom, now imagine not using protection and having to spend at least $1 million on it. Boy, what? Mom, a phone would never cost $1 million. Mom, no, but a kid does. So ducking use protection. The Challenger astronauts didn't die when the shuttle exploded. The stack actually just broke apart under aerodynamic stress, and the explosion you thought you saw was just the expanding cloud of hydrogen from the external tank burning. But the forces involved in the breakup were very survivable. The crew cabin was left intact after it separated from the rest of the orbiter and may not have depressurized. There's evidence to suggest some or all of them were conscious at least part of the way down, if not the entire time. And photography of the disaster shows the cabin falling without spinning in a nose down attitude, meaning no excessive forces to knock them out. The impact with the ocean was what actually killed them. It took 2 minutes and 45 seconds from breakup to impact. It's possible that some or all of them were conscious and aware the whole time. That's very interesting. I have NASA photos of that entire ordeal, from takeoff to explosion. Also some photos of the falling debris right after the explosion. I doubted whether they are real, but after having them checked out, they are authentic NASA photos. Really cool and creepy. Emergency oxygen supplies were manually activated after the explosion, so it's known that at least one person was definitely alive. Every girl that was interested in you but you didn't give a chance. That implies girls are interested in me in the first place. In undergrad, there was this hot chick in my class that always wanted to study with me. I always suggested going to the library. Well, on like our 3-4 study session, she asked if we could go back to my apartment to study. I looked her in the face and said nah, there are too many distractions there. The library is better. We never studied together after that, and I was clueless. Years later, I look back at that interaction and realize what was on her mind and how naive and oblivious to it I was. Your true potential. In other words, everything you could have accomplished if you had just applied yourself more and in the right way. Joke's on you. Free will isn't real. I was always going to be mediocre. Some stranger you've passed on the road has probably wondered what would happen if they just veered their car into yours. Everyone wonders dangerous stuff. It is sort of self-defense risk assessments to aid strategic thinking. For 20 years after 1977 the nuclear code was 8 zeros. 000000000. That was for the American nukes. The British nukes were protected by a standard issue bicycle lock in the honor of an officer of Her Majesty. And then they changed it to password. How much better your life could be if you made a few slightly different, seemingly insignificant decisions that took you down a different path. What everyone is thinking about you at the exact moment the thought crosses their mind. I know I've thought some pretty mean things about my friends that I would dismiss, because it was neither true nor important. But if you're hearing the thoughts without the afterthoughts dismissals, then it could hurt. Just imagine what it would be like if somebody could actually read minds. It would be hell. When the nurse takes your pulse, she also counts how many breaths you take. If she told you she was counting breaths, you would be conscious about it, and pretty much unable to breathe naturally, which would make the counting totally worthless. Now we'll never be able to get a physical again, thanks. Just how vulnerable and fragile the human body is. It does not take a whole lot to kill or permanently disable you. Absolutely, I heard of a teenage girl who was in her car, in line at a stop sign. Looking back over her shoulder, she hit the car in front of her at less than 5 miles an hour, broke her neck and died. Conversely, just how durable the human body can be. It's amazing what we can walk away from, and still go on to live a long, full, horrifically mangled life. I was going to add how shockingly resilient the human body can be, too. It's scary how you can be killed by something seemingly not so bad, but could likewise survive something truly horrific. The chances are that there are fewer ambulances in your area than you think there are. At any time your area could go on status 0 right before you get into a life-threatening accident or medical problem. This means that you will have to wait for an ambulance to clear up from a hospital so they can respond to you, which could take a long time. It's especially bad if you live in a rural area. Plaque on your teeth is basically bacteria shit. I wonder why the dentist just doesn't say this to people when they ask them to floss. I'm pooping right now. During the Titanic disaster, those in lifeboats could hear the cries of the 1,500 people in the water after the ship sank. Some survivors recounted that the cries all merged together to make one continuous howl, which gradually died away. That Beck is a Scientologist. Any moment now a cell in your body could mutate, become a cancer cell, begin to multiply and form a tumor. Actually, this probably happens not infrequently, but your immune system destroys them before they turn into a dangerous tumor. The little girl who did the voice of Ducky in The Land Before Time was murdered along with her mother by her father, who then shot himself afterwards. When you're going to die? I don't know. That would make planning for retirement way easier. Good point. You'd also be able to do stuff and know you wouldn't die. Your ancestors survived the harsh world 100s of years ago to conceive your other ancestors, and eventually conceive you, only for you to do all the pointless shit you've done in your lifetime, or pointless shit to come. The average cell phone is covered with more bacteria than the average toilet seat. Whoa, you made it to the end? You're a ducking beast. I'll cut you a deal. Smash like and subscribe for more curated content, bruh. It's free and that's a great price.